All right, you feather merchants, I'm going to take you back into time, back in the 80s when I was working in Area 51. And I'm going to tell you a story that it could have been tragic, but it turned out to be kind of funny. And then after that, I will make mention of the aliens at the end of the video. Anyway, as I told you before, I was an iron worker out there. And one of the iron workers had a job. He was working by himself, and he was working near some kind of electrical outlet that was very powerful. And so someone was tasked with making sure that it was safe and that there was no electricity flowing through it, because this iron worker was going to work right next to it. And they told him it's safe. It's okay to work there. So he said, okay. So as he's doing whatever he was doing, he got electrocuted. And there was so much juice that ran into his body that it's nothing short of a miracle that didn't kill him. I mean, it knocked him to his feet, or he knocked him to the ground. Anyway, I don't know what happened as far as anyone being reprimanded or anything like that. But it was, I believe it was on a Friday that this happened. So they were going to have a safety meeting on Monday, and the superintendents are going to be there, and the head safety man. So it's a serious thing that just happened. So anyway, I went home for the weekend, and I had this idea, and I went to this trick shop, and I purchased a light bulb that, and a small copper coin that comes with it, and when the light bulb and the coin make contact, the light bulb comes on. I don't know how it works, but anyway, I thought it'd be kind of a funny thing to do. So what I did is I bought it, and I waited till Monday morning, and right before these people showed up to have this serious meeting, I asked the iron worker, I said, I told him what I wanted to do, and I said, do you mind if I put this little copper coin in your ear? He laughed. He says, no, yeah. He says, he was good with it. So he did it, and I said, just act real serious. And so anyway, they had this meeting, and everyone spoke up, and they talked about how serious it was, and how it can be prevented in the future. And the safety man, he was conducting the meeting, and he asked if anyone had any questions or anything to share, and I raised my hand, and I told him, I said, I'm reluctant to show you guys this, but I said, we discovered this totally by accident, and rather than try to explain it, I want to demonstrate what happened to this iron worker with having all that electricity go through his body. So I asked one of the other guys, I said, is there a light bulb here? And of course the light bulb was on the workbench, and he said, oh yeah, here's a light bulb here. So he hands me the trick light bulb, and I kind of made a dramatic thing about it. I said, you guys aren't going to believe this, but I took the light bulb and I stuck it in this guy's ear, and the light came on. And some of these guys, there were different trades there. It was a big meeting, and I could hear this, ooh, whoa, what the heck? And I could see the look on the safety man's face. He wasn't amused by this, and he didn't know how I did it, but he thought something was wrong with this story. Um, anyway, it was kind of funny to see the light bulb light up, and some of those people, they left the meeting and they actually thought this iron worker had that much electricity in his body that he could light up a light bulb. Anyway, and there was another story. There was one of the iron workers I worked with. I was partnered up with him. He and I would go to remote areas around 51 because there were different people doing participating in different projects, and sometimes they would need us to make something for them. And this guy that was the iron worker that I worked with, he hung out in a bar that there was a guy there that local that used to make arrowheads, and he'd sell them for 25 cents a piece. And they were unbelievable. And he'd crank them out real quick, and he'd sell them for a quarter a piece just for amusement. And you couldn't tell the difference between this and a regular Indian arrowhead. Anyway, I asked him to get me a couple of them, so he did. And it was a couple of weeks later, and we were called out to this remote area, and went out there, and a group of people, when we got out of our vehicle, they were waiting for us. And as we're approaching their work site, I already had the arrowhead palmed, and I looked on the ground like I saw something, and I pretend like I picked up the arrowhead, and I show it to my buddy, and we're talking there, and then I put it in my pocket. So anyway, we walk up to this group, and right away the guy said, "What'd you find?" I said, "I found an arrowhead." He said, "You found an arrowhead?" I said, "Yeah, I find them all the time." And he told me how many years he'd been out there. He says, "None of those guys ever found any arrowheads." And I said, "I find them all the time." So I took out my pocket and I showed it to him. And wow, that's really interesting. Anyway, they tell us what they want and everything, and we make up a diagram, make sure they're happy with it, and then we got in our vehicle, and we're going to go back to the shop and manufacture whatever they wanted. And in the review mirror, I watched them. The whole group was out there kicking rocks, looking for arrowheads. And anyway, I would do stuff like that to amuse myself. I never found an arrowhead out there. But anyway, it was kind of amusing to watch that. And, getting back to the alien story, I had made a video about Area 51 and this alien and the spaceships and everything, and this guy that claims to have been a scientist. He was, I'm telling you, when he goes on these podcasts and talks about what he worked on in Area 51, I mean, the guy is being way less than truthful. And I never believed that newscaster out of Las Vegas really believed him, but he pretends like he believes him. Anyway, they're teamed up, and they're still out there doing podcasts talking about that. But I've often wondered, and thinking about this, why the military has been silent on that subject. They've never really addressed it, and I'm telling you, it's a bullshit story. There's a lot of interesting things that happen out there, and there's a reason it's top secret. But the alien story that this guy keeps talking about, it isn't there. About the underground hangars and all that. I mean, who do you think builds stuff like that? iron workers do, and carpenters, and other tradespeople. and and he's talking about. I remember he talked about this one secret hangar that is disguised to look like the desert. And I don't know if you feather merchants know anything about thermal imaging, but from an airborne platform, it reads temperature to half a degree. And that was when I was working in law enforcement. I don't know, they might have perfected it where it's even more sensitive. But anyway, you can't make a hangar look like the desert and fool anyone. And satellites come over that place, and they take photos all the time, just like the U.S. does with these different countries. So anyway, it's a lot of nonsense, and I do know what I'm talking about when it comes to this. You know, like I said, I spent 10 years there, and it was an honor to be able to be selected to work in that area. And I'm not going to get into any of the stuff I saw. This is what I didn't see, because it was non-existent. Anyway, you feather merchants out there, I appreciate you stopping by, and you guys have a nice day. All right.